Hello, my dear friends. In the previous video, we left off at this point where we had a dice. We would roll it, and our tokens would come out on six, and we would start moving them here and there. So this is basically this. We can see that we have rolled out a six, and then we can move our tokens accordingly. So now we are also going to improve some things, and we are also going to implement dice chaining and few techniques. So this is going to be a lot, but we would slowly and gradually build up everything. So let's dive into our code and let's see where we are. So here we are. We have this mechanism. Let me show go to each and everything in, in like in a bird's eye view. So first of all, we have tokens. We have parcel. So we need these arrays to store the positions and the tokens. Then we have final points for red, green, yellow, and blue. We have start positions for each house. Red starts at 0, green starts at 13. We have 13 difference of 13 for each house, and so on. Then we have house entry points. When a token completes its journey, then these are the points where a token can enter in the final house. Then there are safe zones. Safe zones are like the points where a token can't be hit by any other token. Then we have these are the variables that we defined in the previous video where we would want to restore the sites. So we need these classes, and if we want to change this background color, uh, in that case, we also need the sites. Then we have these are transforms that we provide to dice on set dice, so that it shows the correct number on the top based on the roll. So this is very basic setup. This is our restart animation function, and we roll a dice. Basically, we assign current roll. Then we select a token from the board, and uh, then we click on it, and then we pass that token to move token function. In move token, we just simply move that token, and based on different cases, it moves correctly on the paths. So this is a very basic setup, and we have basically implemented this. And also we had a small function send home, which simply sends any token back to its starting position. So for testing purposes, we wrote this function, and when we click on any token, right click on any token, it uh, immediately flies off to its own. So just let's comment it out. We don't need that. And here, before we start, we need to add a few things. First of all, we need to know that if a token has finished its journey. So we would just assign a property finished, and we would make it false. And here we also see that there is a property called logged. This log property basically means that a token is allowed to enter a final form or not. So basically, in traditional Ludo, a house tokens can only enter in its final position if that token has hit at least one other token during its journey. Um, this applies to all of the tokens from that house. Basically, at least one of the other tokens need to be hit from one house in order to go inside the house. So this makes sure of that. Currently, we have set it to be false. So our token easily enter home, but we would now set it to true. So we would make sure that we have to hit at least one token. So for that, I would also implement some logic. And then there is also one more thing that we have to implement. We have also have to add a property called CanMove. So for at the start of a journey, each token cannot move. So its CanMove is false. And also we here in our markup, we also need to, for our testing purposes, we need to give this property to green tokens as well. If we click on green tokens, then we should be able to move them. This is just for testing purposes. We are not going to implement turn-based logic yet. We are just doing this to make sure that uh, we can at least move some tokens and test our logics on them. So we have given indexes to green tokens as well. So when the dice would be rolled out, then we can also move green tokens based on that dice. So we have implemented these. Now we are also going to make one more thing. Basically, our tokens, we need some sort of indication on tokens. If we our tokens, suppose we want to make a turn and we need to know that which are our tokens and which tokens can move. So we need to add some sort of indication on that. So for that, we are going to add an animation on tokens. Basically, we are going to add a glow effect to the tokens. So for that, let me quickly add that animation. So we are going to basically create this animation called glow, and we are going to animate the box shadow. Uh, uh, this is the shadow which makes an object pop out. So suppose we have this box shadow of spread of 15 pixel, and it would be red. Then when the animation is at 50%, then it would become white and it would be spread a little bit more, and at 100% it would go back to its original position. So when we apply this to token, so animation flow, and we would give it like 1 second infinite ease in and out. So we are giving it basically easing function of ease in and out, and we are giving it infinite alternate. So let's see how this looks. Let me get back to the browser and let me share my screen. Okay, so if we refresh, then we can see that there is a very nice glow animation. It is more prominent on green, but we can see it on all the tokens. They are glowing. And this kind of effect, we would need it, but we need it to be conditional. Only those tokens can glow, which can move. So let's try to implement that logic. So here we would basically, before implementing the logic, we need to know we would want to put it. So when we roll a dice and we know what is our current roll, at that point, at this point, we should call a function where we check that. So let me quickly add that function. We need to add a function called we need to add a function which can check if we can move or not. So let me quickly add that function here, and let me clean this up a little bit. So first of all, let me clear out some extra variables. Okay, so first of all, we would see that if our player house is and our current player are same, basically if we are red house and our current player is also red, only then we should proceed, and we would select our tokens based on our house. So let me quickly add that house array as well. Basically, uh, let me explain why I'm writing this function as well. So here we will add this array of houses, which just contains the name of the house. As we know that tokens have a property called house, so we basically need to know which house we belong to, and our current player is an index of that house. So basically, we know that this is our house, and we filter all the tokens based on that house. Then we get player tokens. So we will get four red tokens in our case, and then we would run a loop on all those tokens, and we would check their individual properties. First of all, we would check if the token is finished its journey, then it cannot move, so it won't glow. It shouldn't glow. And then we would check the second condition, which is the second condition is that if if any token is at home and we have rolled out a six, then it can certainly move. So we set its can move property to true. And also here, if current roll is less than 6 and you are still at home, then okay, in that case, we can we cannot move basically. We didn't roll out a 6, and this particular condition checks that what is our current index. So we get current index from the token which we are checking, and then we add our current roll. So if our current index, suppose we are at a certain position, let me quickly show the board. So whichever index we are on, suppose we are here, and also at the roll. If these two numbers are less than this final position, then only we can move. If that number exceeds this final position, then we cannot move. So we are basically checking that. So here we check this condition and we correctly set the flag. And let's remove these for now. So in our determine can move function, we would understand which tokens can move and which cannot move. So we have basically said their can move property correctly. Based on that, we can also add another function which we would call suppose glow function. So let me quickly write that function. Glow tokens function, and there is also another function that we would can write. So first function is called glow tokens. So basically in this glow tokens function, we would pass our player house, and based on that, we would select correct four tokens and set give them animation if they have the property can move. So only those tokens would glow which have the animation of can move with the flag set to true. So this would start making our tokens glow. And similarly, we have another function called turn off glows. So basically, if our token, we also before next turn we want to reset those. So we this function resets that property glow property to none. So here when we have determined all the tokens, if they can glow or not, then we can call this glow tokens. So basically, we would call those, and they would start glowing. And here after in our move token, at the end, when our turn has been determined, we can turn off the glow tokens. So when once everything is said and done, we can turn those off. And also we need to add this function where we exit early. Okay, so here we can also we need to add that, and here we also need to add the turn off function. And basically, if we are inside final, uh, we also need to add that function here wherever we are going to return. And here also, when we roll out a 6, then in that case, we also need to add return the turn off the close. So let's get back to browser, and let me share my screen. Here, let me refresh, and we our glow is hasn't turned off because we forgot to basically comment this out. We have made our glow animation conditional now. So let's get back and let's refresh. Okay, now nothing is glowing. So let me roll out the 6. Okay, so we got a 6, and now we can see that all of the tokens are possible candidates to move. So that's why they are all glowing. So let's click on any one of them. Suddenly the glowing stops because our move has ended. And let me roll out another move. Then if we hit on this, so we can only this token can move. That's why it was glowing. Let's me Okay, so we would roll out and we would see that only the token which can move would glow. Others won't glow because we haven't rolled out a 6. So if we roll out a 6, then and all of them can move. So that's why this is the behavior. And we can also check that because we have selected our current house as red, so that's why only red are glowing. But we can, as we have added select token property to these, so we can take them out as well. So basically, this is for testing purposes. We haven't implemented any turn-based system yet, so we can move any of the allowed tokens randomly. We are doing this so that we can test our hit mechanism as well. We will soon implement hitting the tokens as well. So let's get back to code, and let's add another thing. So we have successfully implemented our glow functionality in our tokens, and we are turning on the glows on and off conditionally. We also need to add one more property. Basically, this property is, uh, as we can see that, suppose here in this board, if there are multiple tokens on, suppose this safe zone, then they can stack up on the top of each other. So when it's our turn, it might be that blue token or green token is on top of our token, and this might potentially soft lock our game. So we don't want that. So to fix that, we would uh, we would make it so that whichever player is active, and whichever player is on the current turn, their tokens should appear on the top always. So let me quickly add that. So basically, we would need another function which we would call. So we would call this function uh, pop up. So pop up means just to boost. So let's add that function as well. So here we would add this function pop up current player. So we would pass in our current player, and all the tokens would of that player would get as the index of 60. So this would make them appear on top of others. And we also need to cancel out this effect basically on next dice roll. So let me quickly add that function as well. So we would call that function restore z index. So it's a very simple function, uh, very similar to turn off close. We would just iterate over all the tokens and restore their z index back to 50. So basically, in a very similar manner, we would add this pop-up effect here. So we would say pop-up current player, and once our turn is done, once we have done our turn, at the same point, we can set this to restore the index. So this would help us in enhancing our visuals. And now we have done this. Basically, we want to switch up our layout. Now we have our dice. We have this setup. Now we also want to. Okay, before we change some layout in our HTML, let's quickly implement hitting functionality. So how do we implement that? So for that, let me quickly add that function. So here is our function check for hit. So basically, we would check the house, and we would see which house the token belongs to. We would set our house basically. Then we would set hit as false. We would check for all tokens other than our token. So basically, we would see that if the any token's house is not equal to our house, then only then it could be hit. And we would see that if our paths are same, our token path and that token path is same, and they are not in safe zones. Basically, this is very important. We have defined some safe zones. If they are not on safe zone, only then they can be hit. So we would check that, and if it has been hit, we would implement this sound effects as well. So I would later explain them. We would basically simply set this hit to be true, and we would call set home on that element. So it would be sent home. We already have tested this function, so it would work. Then we would also need to implement this log status. Basically, when we have hit when one token has hit another token, then if that token was logged previously, uh, their house was locked, they would be unlocked. Let me quickly show that here. Let me share my screen. So basically, this is what we are aiming to create today. So I'm showing that each house has a lock. So basically, before you hit anything, there is a lock on your house, and if you have managed to successfully hit at least one token, then this lock breaks, and only then you can enter your final house. If this lock is still there, you would just loop over and you start over all over again. So this is the condition we want to enforce. So that's why we are doing that. So let me show current progress, and uh, let's get back to code. So basically, this log status is for that. Let me quickly add this data type as well. So uh, we would just add this. So let me add this here. So basically, log status would just tell us whether we are logged or not. So our whole house, red house, is logged. Yes, each and every house is locked in the beginning, then they slowly and gradually they become unlocked. So this is what we are implementing here. We are saying that if they are locked, only then we have to break their lock. So we set their lock status to unlock, and we would also add some markup here, which we would basically lock and unlock based on our conditions. So for now, let's comment it off. And also, we would set the status of that token log to be false. All of the tokens which are in this house, we would set their log status to false because now they can freely enter the home. So this is a functionality that we needed to implement. Okay, so we would just add this here after we are done with the movement. Then we can add this function here, and we would pass in the token, our current token, and we would see if we have hit anything. So let's test it out. Let's quickly go to the browser, and let me quickly test it out. I would create a scenario where I can hit any other token, and we would see if this works. Okay, so as we can see that we are in this scenario where we have other token as well, and here we have gotten rolled out a two. So if we tap on this token, we would be able to kill this, and this should get back to its home. So let's do that. So we can see that we have implemented the hit functionality correctly. So this is what we wanted. So we have implemented the hit functionality, but we have also unlocked this, but we can't see that. So there, for visual indication, we would add some markup here for the logs. So I would quickly go through that. Let's get back to the code and let's get here and let's quickly add the logs. So for logs, uh, let me quickly add that markup for the logs. We would add this in the Okay, so this is basically our. Let me quickly go through that. I think during my commenting out, I might have messed some markup up. So let me quickly check that. Let me quickly go through my markup and so I've checked that markup is now correct. So let me quickly add this markup here. We would add a class of div called logs, and we would have different logs. We will have a log for red, green, blue, and yellow. And let me quickly add this some styles as well for the logs. So let's get to the bottom and quickly add some styles for the logs. And also, as we can see that we have this markup called I. This is basically we need to add a library called font awesome, and this is a very nice library, and we can add it quickly. Add this here. Uh, the main advantage of this library is that we can add different range of amazing icons, and they act just as like like a text. So we can give them size and properties just like they are some font, and that's why it's called font awesome, and they are very nice icons. So basically, we can find these are basically the log symbols. If we would have created those symbols in CSS or maybe like, we have no other choice but to create them in CSS or import the SVG or maybe add an image. But this provides a very nice alternate. So these are treated just like a font. I have added some properties. Basically, I'm giving some properties and I'm giving them a font size of 2 rem and I have given them the token color. So let's go to our browser and let's see how it looks. So let's refresh and now we can see that we have logs. And let's get back to our code and let's where we commented all these lines. Let's comment them back in. And now we can see that we would actually see the logs being changed when we hit some other token. So let me quickly recreate that scenario and we will see that check that if it works or not. So here we can see that we have rolled out the tool and we can potentially hit this token. So let's do that. So we have done that and we should have seen the log being unlocked. So let me quickly check what's wrong and let's fix that. Okay, so we are here and we have rolled out the three and we should be able to hit this and our log should break. So let's hit this. And as we can see that our log has been broken and now we can freely enter our home. So this is what we wanted. Let's get back to our code and let's see. So we have done this. We have implemented this correctly. Now we need to do some change in our layout. So we are going to aim to create something like this. We have to have this kind of setup where we have our avatars looking our avatars outside the board, and we have our dice, which is rolled from a single button. Both dice should roll, and both rolls should be added in this player dice area. This is like a dice space, and we are also given a bonus on hitting two sixes. So let's make another roll. Now we have these rolls which are currently at our disposal, and we have to slowly and gradually uh, we have to complete our rolls. We have to so. this is a setup which we are going to aim for. And also we can see that we have correctly chained our dice, our different rows on the top. They are stacked together and they are chained correctly. So this is what we are going to implement, and I would just go through this part. I have shown you this because there might be too much anticipation, and that's why I wanted to show you this. Currently, we are here, so let's get to that position slowly and gradually. First of all, we would need to add some markup. So this markup would now be outside our Ludo board. We are going to add some different styles and properties here. So first of all, we would need to uh, we would need to add some avatar avatars. So basically, we need red, green, yellow, and blue avatar. So let's add those. And we only need the roll dice button on red avatar because this is what we are choosing as our default player. So let's add styling for those as well. So, so for profile, for avatar, and dice space, and for roll dice button as well. And then we also need to give properly. Okay, so let me quickly add that those styles here. So we have this styling of profiles. Basically, we are giving a profile div. It is absolute. The position is absolute, and then we have this avatar. Avatar has is basically a round face, and we are also using this font awesome property here. And basically, an avatar is a user ninja, which would appear like a ninja on top of the profile, and then we have a name, and we have this empty dice space. So let's check if this works. So let's get back to our browser. Let's hit refresh. So we can see that we have added the styles of our player and our space. We also need to add the dices. Basically, we need to add two dices for each house. So let me quickly add that and let's resume. So we have done some changes in the HTML. We have added two dices for each house, and we have changed the layout of it. First of all, previously we had only one dice and the other one was commented out. Now we have a dice for each house. We have given new divs. We have red dice, then we have red dice 1 and red dice 2. Similarly, we have green dice and we have green dice 1 and green dice 2. And then yellow dice 1 and 2. Then blue dice 1 and 2. So these are our dices. And basically, dice 1 is white and dice 2 is red. So we have given appropriate styles here. We are no more, we don't need this position absolute because the div containing this is absolute now. Then we have this we have updated this time. So all the two dices, green dice 2, white dice 2, blue dice 2, and yellow dice 2 would be red. And rest of the styles are nearly same. And we have also given these properties. Basically, uh, we have given yellow, blue, and red and green dice some properties. We have set them on their appropriate places. So let's get to the browser and let's see. So this is our layout now. And right now this function, this button is not functional. So we can add this function for this button as well. And uh, this is our current layout, and we would now implement the gameplay here. Also, let me quickly go to our code. I was also able to get some very nice sound effects. So I've downloaded this sound effects on royalty-free music websites, different websites. So these are nice sound effects. They also add a new dimension to our gameplay. If we add those, then we can also have a very nice gameplay. So let me quickly write a function to play a sound. In JavaScript, we can play sounds as well. So let me quickly write a function for that. Here, let me add that function. So this is a very nice little function which helps us to play any sound. We pass in the sound address where it is located in the memory. Suppose this is in our sounds folder. Then we also can provide a volume, so we can play the sound on that volume. So this would be triggered whenever we want to play some sound. And also our currently in our current setup, uh, we need to just hide these. We don't need to update these anymore. So here we are at the basically at our roll dice. This is not enough. We are not going to click on any dice now. So instead, we are going to be clicking on basically this one, this dice roll button, and we would pass in our house color in that. So let me quickly implement that function. So let's hide this function for now, and let's implement the new function, which is going to be our dice roll function. It would roll two dices at the same time. So let me quickly add that function. So this is nearly the same function, but instead it now chooses both dices from that house which we have passed, and when it rolls the dice. And then we have this control variables dice roll. We have already set these here, dice rolled and dice expired. And based on that, our dice would roll. And we also need an array for current rows because there is going to be multiple rows now. So let's add that here as well. So we would need this array uh, to store our current rows. And let me see if we need anything else for now. Okay, so we have this, and we would go through this, and we would see if if there is any function missing. We would add that. So we have added display sound as well. We would this is the utility function we already know, and we would need to change some functions here. Basically, we don't have this anymore. We would just see if our dice ID doesn't include two, then we need to restore that side. And here, okay, let me quickly check if this works, if our dice roll works. There would be some error, but we can see that dices are rolling. So there might be some errors. We could fix them later, but at least our function is working. So let's get back and let's see what are we missing here. So here in our dice function, we have correctly targeted our dices. Then we pass in the first one to restore sides because we need to show the animation and give it its transparent sides by default. Then we basically we play with the sound of dice rolling, and then we create two roles now. We create red roll for red and roll for other. Then we basically give them animation, and we set the animation to none, and then we set the roles. This is the function where we set the roll on top of dice. We know that already. We set the property dice rolled expired to be false, and then we roll them. Basically, here we are just making sure that we are ordering them correctly. So basically, we have to write this function as one set dice space. So let me quickly add that function. Basically, this is the dice space where our currently for each house there is a dice space basically where we store the rows of the dice and execute them one by one. So our dice space is empty. So we need to add the rows, whichever rows we got, we have to push them in that. So it's like a stack. So let's quickly add that function. This would basically make sure that our dice chaining works. So, let's quickly add this function here. Okay, so this dice space function is basically it gets a current player, then it gets a role, and it gets a color. So from here we can see that we pass in our current player, then we pass in the role and the color. So in this case, we are making sure that if our second dice has got six, then it should be added to the stack first because if we don't add that, suppose we got, let me show this by example. Suppose we roll the dice and we got some numbers. And in the first dice we got five, and in the other one we got six. Now technically we can break free. Our tokens can break free from the rocks, but it would be in a soft lock state because the first one would be the five, and it would force us to move five places where, but we can't do that unless we move six. We consume the six one dice first. So when we consume the six dice, it would come out, and then we would be able to move to the other number. So to make sure that this doesn't happen, whenever there is a single six and it's on the red one, we push that part first and then the other number after that. In all other cases, we don't need to do that, but this is a special case where we need to do that, this in order to prevent soft locking. So this is that condition implemented here. Then we are pushing the roles in our current roles as well, and we are just setting this die space where we target our avatar. Then we select its dice space and append this element. We are just giving it the dice, and the basically this font of some provides us this dice space as well. So these dice spaces will be visible based on the number. So for that, we also have to do some little trick. We already have this array of sides. We just need to update them. We need to remove the dot, and then we would be able to use this array, and we would just need to update this a little bit. Here we would need to add the dot manually. So we would just say that restore sides, basically select this side, and with dot it would become a class in query selector. And similarly here, we also need to add that. And this same array would be used here in our sets dice space to select the correct side, and then the small dice on the dice space would show the correct face. So we have done this, and we are also giving it the top element a highlight. We know that this element is on the top, and this is the number that we need to move. So this is we have to implement this, and we also have to implement the reverse. When we append the dice, we also need to remove dice on the top. So this function does that based on the different conditions, and it also selects the top element in any case and give it a highlight. So if implemented correctly, this would chain our dice, but we also need to add another condition. Basically, here we have this determine can move function. We also need to know if all of our tokens are locked. So for that, we have some updated version of this same function. Let me quickly add that. So we would update this function, and we would also add another function below it. So basically, this is a very same function, but we also have this property called all stuck. It means that if all the token can't move, then we need to skip this person's turn and give it to the next person, or we need to skip this dice. So basically, that's why this is very important. We need to know that if we can move or not. So we basically set the status if all stuck is true or not. Then we also, if all dice is stuck, then we call this function skip dice. This basically makes sure that our current rows is shifted. Our current rows would have the rows on array, and then it would just pop on the top element and assign the new current role, which would be the next element in the line. And then basically this is just semantics, turning off the globe and everything. We would determine the moves again, and we would set this. Basically, this would make sure that if any number is on the top, then we are able to move to that number. And we also need to update our we need to update some logic in our different functions so that we are able to move our dice. So first of all, we need to comment this out. We don't need this line. And let me quickly update the move token function as well. So let me quickly update that. So uh, most of our move function is same, but we need to make sure that we are implementing our logic correctly. And also we need to update check for hit function as well, and add a few more functions which help us in our execution. Okay, so we have these functions. First of all, check for hit function is same. We just need we added a sound, and we also have these two functions: add dice roll and remove consume dice roll. We would see why we need these functions, and we also update the log status. We have done this already, and we have also added the condition for end game, when to end the game, and we also have added condition for reset if you want to reset the game, and also there are some sounds, pop sounds, and everything. And we have also added one more condition, which is if a player actually if the token is finished. So when we can easily check that if our distance from basically when we enter in our final position, we have a distance. If the distance is exactly 6, it means we have finished successfully. And we calculate this distance based on our current index and our role, and we take in consideration a lot of factors, and then we know that we have finished. Then on each successive finish, we have this house finished counter. Let me quickly add that area as well. So we basically count how many tokens have finished, and based on that, we increment those values. So, and we also have this stop token condition. Basically, we uh, let me go to that. So we have implemented this stop token condition as well. Basically, when we roll a dice and we get a bonus dice, suppose we have rolled two sixes, then we can only move our tokens after we have rolled the dice again. And this is to ensure that otherwise we would move our tokens and it would cause some logical inconsistencies. That's why we are using this flag uh, stop token. So let me see if this works. So let's roll a dice. uh, we would continuously keep on rolling the dice until we hit a six. And, let's see if it works. And as you might be able to hear the sound. So as we have hit the six, we can see that we have added current stack of dice here rolls here as well. And as soon as we execute one, it would remove and the next one would come in the line. So let's consume this. We have successfully taken our token out. Then we would also move it. We have added some sounds as well to give clear visual cue. Now we have to roll the dice again. And also we have implemented the functionality that we cannot abuse this mechanic. We cannot roll continuously again and again. We have to consume the dice before we are able to do that. So we have done this. Now we have to basically consume the tokens before we move forward. And we have just to check the hit mechanism, we have implemented this, and we also have to consume this. Let's okay, as we can see that we have rolled out two sixes. We have this indication. We have a yellow outline on the dice, which shows that you need to make another turn. I cannot move any dice at this moment. So let's let's roll it. And when we have rolled it, we can see that this has added to our stack, and we can see very nice indication of what we are currently having. So let's take these out and give it. Let's take this out as well so that we are able to hit it. So let's roll move this, and I think if we execute six, and this might hit this. Okay, we were off by one. No problem. Uh, let's wait for a one, and maybe let's try to hit with this one. So let's see if we can. Uh, okay, let's remove this. Okay, now we've got one. So let's try to hit this. So we have a sound effect, and we our lock has been broken, and or we are also awarded another turn based on that. So let's roll it out and. Okay, so first of all, we cannot move this because even though it's flowing, we cannot move this because we have one on top of stack. So let's move this, and now we can move it out and move so on. So this is a very nice gameplay we have managed to implement. Let's go quickly go through the different functions. So basically, how do we implement these mechanisms? Uh, we suppose for avoiding Newton uh, uh, extra dice to if we roll out two sixes. So here we have this roll two dice in roll two dice function. We basically if we have rolled both rolled six, then we add dice roll. This add dice roll function basically says that dice roll is false, so that we are allowed to roll the dice again. And then we also give this an indication, and we basically stop tokens. We stop tokens from moving. This is a very simple function, but it allows dice to be rolled again and to be added to the stack. Similarly, consumed dice roll is the reverse of that function. It basically sets this property dice roll true, and it's allows the token to be moved, and it sets the outline to be null. So this is very simple functionality, and also, let me try to show you what happens if we win. And for that, we are missing some markup. We also need to add some markup for winning. So in case of a win, we need to add some markup here at the end. Let me quickly add a small markup for our, in case we have one. So basically, we have this game where we would show a trophy and we would show who won, and we would also give an opportunity to reset. So let's quickly give this a style. And we have already said this. Basically, we have this function called end game, where we count if any player has four finished tokens, then it means it has won the game. And whosoever wins, we play a winning song, and then we said correctly said which player has won, and we also show this winning side. So I would quickly go to this browser, and I would try to win the game. Uh, and I would create a scenario where I'm nearly winning the game, and then I would show you what happens. So I would pause this and resume when we are finishing the game. So here we are very close to winning. So we have got rolled out the double six, and we have to make another turn. And now we have got these numbers stacked. So let's first of all, we have done this. We have moved this token, and it has won. And then we have also got another turn. So let's roll it out, and we have got two threes. So we would execute this step by step. So first of all, this one, then this, then one, three, and two. It will also award us another multiple. So let's add this. We have got this three and five. And let's roll out again. So here we got two, and now we have also gotten one more. So let's see what we got. We have got three. Okay, no, we cannot move anymore. So let's roll it again. So we can move three now. So let's do that. So we have won, and it shows that which player has won, and also we can reset. When we hit reset, then it restarts again. So this is the current progress. We have successfully made, we have changed the layout. We have successfully implemented the hit mechanism. We have implemented the lock mechanism. We have implemented the correct dice chaining. We are basically playing with the two dice, which makes it a bit complicated, but it ensures that we are not stuck on not being able to get sixes. Giving some better odds. And in the next part, we would actually implement the gameplay where after one player's turn, there's a second player's turn, and third and fourth. We would also implement some AI behavior on these different houses, and we would actually see how this works and how to basically make it more, interactive. So, my apologies for uploading this a bit late, and also for the length of this video. This is going to be a long video, but a lot of things were going on, and we had to understand how we are going to achieve certain things. So, thank you for being patient, and thank you for watching. And if you have made it this far, you are a legend, and you would be able to implement your own Ludo very soon. Thank you so much. In the next part, we would hopefully wrap this up. And thanks so much for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. And I will see you around. Thank you so much.